Hello everyone, Marches here. Welcome to the channel. And just on time guys, I received this package because I was on my way out to play and this package arrived. And this on my hand is, as you know, it's the PG logo and this is the Paul George 5 or the PG5. And it comes in a very nice box. Last year's box was I think white with some tech on top. It's like motor, it's like motor parts on top of the box, but this one has a camo feel to it, and it's a new look to the box of the PG5. So let's open it. So this is a PG5 EP, and EP means it's the Asia release. So we have here is the PG5 with the XDR rubber. So you can see the tag here. So for all of you who doesn't know XDR rubber, it stands for extra durable rubber, and it's mostly distributed just only here in Asia, which means we have a harder rubber because most of the courts here are outdoors and we really have rough outdoor courts. It's quite nice, and one thing that I'm quite excited with the PG5s is of course the traction of the PG5s. It has a similar traction to the Kobe 9s, which was known to have very good traction, if not one of the best tractions. So I can't wait to try these tractions out. And of course the tech on the PG5, it comes with the full length air strobel, similar to the PG4s. And as for the look and aesthetics, they went back to what the PG3 looks like and the PG2s. So they changed it up and they veered away to the PG4's design because a lot of people weren't sold about the design of the PG4's. So they went with this very similar looking PG3 design. But what they added on the PG5's is this cushion goes up really high on the lateral side. You can see these two mountains and one mountain at the heel part to give you lateral support when you're sliding, lateral movements. And as for the heel part, there's also one mountain there for heel lockdown, and the keyless pillow seems to be pretty good. They're pretty thick right now. And as for the materials guys, it's mesh upper with synthetic leather on the wing, if you can call it that, but it's stitched on the mesh. And at the heel there's also synthetic leather and mesh, so nothing too fancy on the materials of the PG5. Plus you can see the air unit peeking through the outsole, and of course the midfoot plate, which is made out of plastic. I'm not too sure if this is part of the midfoot plate, but you can see the orange one here is the midfoot plate. So right now it's pretty stiff. So I can't wait to play with this. I'll be playing with this later. I was supposed to compare two sneakers, but it's good that this came into the mail and I will try them out and give you my first impression later. And another thing is the outrigger of the PG5 looks pretty good. You can see it's protruding here around the midfoot, forefoot part of the sneaker. So that's it for now. I'll see you later guys. Hey everyone. So I'm finally back from my game and I tried this out, the brand new PG5, and I will let you know my first impressions of the PG5. So let's go. First up guys, I'm going to continue to talk about the upper of the PG5s. I didn't discuss that much on the materials of the PG5s. I just told you that mainly the upper is made out of mesh material. I thought that there will be some ventilation on some areas, but it's really one big mesh upper and some synthetics over at the sides. And around the tongue part, there's honeycomb marks, which I thought is perforated. But upon inspection, it's not. There's no holes around the tongue. It's just one tongue. It is just one tongue that's made out of foam back mesh. It's very comfortable, don't get me wrong. The tongue is stitched down, so it's a half booty upper, very similar to the PG3s. So what I have here beside me is the PG4s. The PG4 is actually the farthest in terms of design from the PG line. The PG5 really looks like the PG2s and the PG3s combined. So the PG4s is, I think they experimented on the design of the PG4s. And now going back to the performance of the upper of the PG5. It is made out of mesh, no break-in time needed. Once I started playing, I didn't notice anything from the uppers. So it's really soft right from the start, and it gets softer when you play with them. And I actually played with them 2 hours straight with these, and I'm kind of tired right now, but It's a good workout, it's a good cardio. It's a blessing that I get to play 5-on-5 right now with some friends. And going back to the upper around the forefoot area, it's very durable. Although it's just mesh around the toe area, the cushion goes up and also the outsole goes up in front of it. So it gives extra durability on the upper. While on the lateral side, you can see the synthetic leather, which looks like a wing, but it's fused together with the mesh upper. And there's some stitching around the forefoot area, which gives extra durability on the upper around the forefoot area of the sneaker. There's a swoosh in the forefoot area, which is very minimal, which I like. It's not shouting Nike on the PG5s. It has a very minimal design, especially this colorway. I'm actually tempted to make a Nike Bayou PG5s. I saw different colorways of the PG5s there. So I am thinking about making a PG5 customs, but I'll settle for this first. And going back to the sneaker, the midfoot part of the sneaker features a very traditional lacing system which works. And like I said, the thong is stitched down, but it's very easy to put your foot in. But just be mindful, the upper of the PG5 is very similar to the PG4s, the PG3s, and its other predecessor. It's kind of narrow around the forefoot area, so wide foot are better to try it out first in store. And I really cranked up my laces during the first game, and I felt the tightness around this synthetic leather area, so I have to loosen it up a bit because I was losing blood around my foot. So it's kind of narrow. So regular footers and narrow footers, the PG5s is good for you, but for wide footers, I suggest you to try them on first. And as for the last, second, and third lace loops of the PG5s, there's an extra design there which is made out of plastic. I think it's just for extra durability around the lacing system of the PG5s. Below that, there's a lot of fusing around the lacing system, so you wouldn't be worried that the lacing system will eventually tear. And now moving on to the heel part of the sneaker, there's a synthetic leather around the heel. There's an internal heel TPU plate, and there's a very nice Achilles pillows around your ankle or heel, which gives you very good lockdown. No problems on the lockdown. And as you can see, the shape of the heel part, it really goes up, but it doesn't scratch your Achilles or heel, so don't worry about that. So I didn't experience any chafing around that area, and I think it's because the design is going outwards, so don't worry about that. And there's a heel tab to make it easier for you to put your foot in. And now moving on to the midfoot and cushion of the PG5. Let's talk about first the external midfoot. As you can see on the lateral part of the PG5, there's some blocks that looks like mountain on the lateral part and one more mountain at the heel part. So it really helps in the support of the PG5s. When I was doing my lateral cuts and doing my crossover, I didn't have any delay. My foot was very intact in the footbed. There's no foot slipping laterally. The PG5 has a very good lateral support, and it's very responsive laterally, and it really cages your foot down to the footbed, so your foot won't be moving around anywhere in the footbed. And now moving on to the cushion of the PG5. As you know, the PG5, like the PG4, has a full-length air straddle, which is very comfy. So if you like the PG4's comfort, you will surely love the comfort of the PG5s. But if you don't have, the feeling is having a pillow below your foot, which is very comfy. Impact protection from the forefoot to the heel is very nice, although it lacks bounciness. But if you're more into impact protection, which I think after 2 hours of play, I would feel some pain around my knee or some stiffness, but currently right now, I'm not feeling anything. So it really helps in the impact protection around your legs. Some of you have been commenting in my video about the top outdoor sneakers that I posted, which I said that my priority is traction, then cushion. Then one guy told me that I shouldn't be prioritizing on the cushion on the sneaker, more on the price and durability of the outsole. But for my priority, guys, I like a very good cushion because I'm investing on my health. Because when you are young, you wouldn't feel it. But after gathering lots of mileage around your legs, like me, I've been playing before nonstop. I'm like playing 5 times a week before when I was in high school, college, and after college. I was playing outdoors, indoors. I was also playing my chinelas, which is the Filipino flip-flops, which doesn't have any cushion. And now that I'm older, I'm really feeling it around my knees, especially when I'm not yet warmed up. I will really feel my knees hurting a bit. So that's just my advice to you if you can invest on a very good cushion sneakers. And at the same time, of course, having good traction is a must on a basketball sneaker. do that, and your legs will really thank you eventually if you start investing on cushion and traction on your basketball sneakers. Now going back to the PG5s. The full-length Air Strobel is really good for impact protection. You will really feel it below your foot, and the Carrier Phylon is really soft right now. You don't need to break it in that much. So that's why you can really feel the cushion of the PG5s. And now moving on to the traction of the PG5s, where a lot of you have been commenting in my Instagram posts. You were asking how is the performance of the traction. I know Nightwing posted about the traction of the PG5s, which is very similar to the Kobe 9s, and he's very excited. And a lot of you I know was very excited on my feedback for the traction of the PG5s. A little side note, I have a different pair. I have the EP version of the PG5s, which is the Asia release. So I have XDR rubber if you watch the beginning of this video. At first, the traction wasn't squeaking, so I was a little worried about the traction. But the court that I was playing on was a little bit dusty because a lot of people were playing on it. But eventually, when I was warming up and running with the PG5s a little bit more, I think there's a wax on the rubber material of the traction. I think that's a standard for XDR rubbers. They put wax first, and you have to break in the traction first to eventually really fully feel the traction of the sneaker. And after that, the traction of the PG5s were really good. I was gripping really hard. Although the squeakiness level is not yet there, but I will play with this some more, and I will update you guys if the traction will continually improve. So far, the rubber compound, since this is XDR rubber, it's very durable. It's very hard right now, although it bends, but it's really thick. So I'm not too worried about the traction. I'm not too worried about the traction of the PG5s. There's no ripping in any areas of the PG5s. And as for dust pickup, I was playing on a semi-dusty court. There's some big debris that are stuck, but aside from that, no dust in other areas of the traction of the PG5s. It's very clean. And as for the midfoot plate, it is now more bendable compared to when I was unboxing the PG5. It was a little bit stiff, but right now it's bending more. And there's a little spring back to the PG5, which is nice. Like I said in the beginning, the window on the Air Strobel is a really nice design on the PG5. As for the weight of the PG5, it is a very light sneaker. It's 390 grams. So based on my memory, the weight is very similar to the PG3s and the PG2s. And another accent that I like on the PG5 is, of course, this holographic swoosh, which is very minimal, very small. And there's air at the back with the 5 dots. I think that's for PG5s. And as for the price of the PG5, it is $110 US. The pricing is very good, so it's around 5,900 pesos. Like the PG4s, they didn't increase on the price, which is good. So for my overall first impression on the PG5, the upper of the PG5 is very supportive. It has durable materials. It has a very comfortable upper. Heel lockdown is good, comfortable tongue. And as for the cushion, very nice impact protection from the forefoot to the heel if you like a cushion like this. And as for the traction, so far so good. It's gripping really hard. And of course, the lateral outrigger of the PG5 gives the forefoot area of the PG5s very nice stability for this basketball sneaker. So let's compare the width of the outsole of the PG5s and the PG4s. So they're pretty much the same, but the PG4s doesn't have that lateral outrigger that's protruding, but the cushion really goes up. So I think they're fairly the same. And I felt very stable on the PG5s, which is very nice in my opinion in terms of price point and the performance that you'll be getting on the PG5s. So that's it on my initial impression on the PG5s. Let me know if you like the PG5s and would you cop them? Hit me a comment down below. Thank you again for watching. This has been Marches. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.